They said you were too risky, but your love feels like the only real thing in my life. My mom said you might break my heart, but it's already been broken without you. Your love is like a fire, scorching, unrelenting, yet I find myself drawn to it every time. My dear, they warned me you'd be too much, but I've never wanted less. They say you're too much for me, but I was made to carry every weight of your love. You're everything I've ever feared, yet everything I can't stop wanting. My dear, you are everything I never knew I needed, yet everything I can't seem to let go of. They say you're too much for my heart to handle, but I'm already tangled in your love. My mom warned me about you, but I already knew what I felt couldn't be ignored. She says you're too wild for my calm life, but my soul craves the storm you bring. You're not too much. You're exactly what my soul has been aching for. I was warned that loving you might break me, but loving you is the only thing that heals me. My dear, they told me you'd steal my heart, but I gave it to you willingly. I can't explain how you make me feel, but every moment with you feels like destiny unfolding. They say you're too much, but love isn't about limits. It's about surrendering to the wild. My dear, your love makes my heart race, and I wouldn't have it any other way. She warned me you might hurt me, but I'd rather hurt with you than live without you. You came into my life like a sudden storm, and now everything is flooded with your love. My mom says you're too much for me, but all I see is everything I need. You're the kind of love that terrifies me, yet I keep running toward it. She says you're a danger to my peace, but you're the only peace I've ever known. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You're everything I was warned against, yet every part of me craves what you offer. They said you'd be too much for my heart, but how can I resist the love that is you? You're too fierce, too wild, but that's exactly what I need to feel alive. My dear, she told me you might break me, but I already feel like I'm stronger because of you. You overwhelm me in ways I can't explain, but I'm addicted to your love. They warned me you'd take too much of my heart, but I'm already drowning in you. You're the love I was too afraid to ask for, but now I can't imagine life without you. My dear, you're exactly the kind of love that leaves me breathless and begging for more. She says you're too much for me, but I can't help but feel like I'm finally home. You're the kind of love that burns. It's too bright, but I'd rather burn with you than fade away. I thought I could live without you, but now I know you are everything my soul needs. My dear, you've broken me in ways I didn't know I needed to be broken. They say you're too intense for me, but my heart beats louder in your presence. You've made me feel more alive than I've ever been, yet I'm terrified of losing you. My mom warned me, but you're exactly what I needed, even if I didn't know it. Your love is a fire I can't escape, but why would I want to? They said you were too much for me, but now I'm convinced I was made to love you. You overwhelm me with your depth, but I crave to drown in you, heart and soul. She said you were a storm, but I was born to be swept away in your winds. You're everything I was warned to stay away from. But now, you're everything I can't live without. You're the kind of love that I was told to avoid, but somehow you're the only one I crave. You are everything they warned me about, but I've learned to love the chaos you bring. My dear, they say you're too much, but I feel alive in the way you push my limits. You overwhelm my heart, yet all I want is to drown deeper in the love you offer. They said you'd be a disaster for my heart, but you're the only kind of love worth risking. My dear, you're the kind of love that will break me open, and I'm ready to heal because of it. They say you're too intense for me, but I've never felt more alive than in your arms. I was warned, but you're exactly what my soul was longing for, even if I didn't know it. My heart is trembling with the love you give, yet I can't stop myself from wanting more. She said you were too much to handle, but maybe I was made to hold all of you. You're the kind of love they tell you to fear, but somehow I find peace in the storm. You came into my life and swept everything else away. I didn't realize how much I needed it. My dear, they said you were dangerous, but I've never felt more alive in the danger of your love. You overwhelm me in every way possible. And somehow, that's exactly what my soul has been craving. She said you're too intense, but all I feel is a fire igniting inside me when I'm with you. You make my heart race with every touch, every word, and I don't want it to slow down. My dear, my mom mentioned you to me and said you're a bit too perfect for this world. You're the one my heart never expected, but my soul recognized you from the first moment. Her words echo in my mind. You're the kind of love that makes hearts beat a little faster. They say you're too much for a fragile heart like mine, but I wouldn't change a thing. She warned me, but I didn't listen. You're the kind of love that scars beautifully. Every time she speaks of you, I feel like she's talking about a fire I can't control. You're a storm I wasn't ready for, but now I can't imagine peace without your chaos. She says you're a little too intense for me, but how could I resist such a wild love? You walked into my life like a force of nature, and now nothing feels the same. My mom said you were too much, But what does too much mean when it feels like this? She told me you were different, and I thought, what does that mean for us? You're everything my heart's been craving, even if it means learning to breathe in your storm. She says I should be careful, but how can I when you're the one who makes me feel alive? Your love is too deep, too wild for this world, yet I find myself diving in anyway. My mom mentioned you, and I realized you're not just a chapter in my life, you're the entire story. I thought I knew love, but then you came along, and now everything else feels hollow. You're too much for everyone, but exactly what my soul needed to heal. My mom warned me you might break me, but I already feel like I'm breaking just to keep you. She said you might burn too bright, but how can a fire ever be too bright? You're the reason my heart feels alive, yet also why it aches in ways I can't explain. They say you're too overwhelming, but I can't help but drown in everything you are. I was told you're a risk I should avoid, but how could I resist a love that powerful? My heart didn't care what they warned me about. Your love was always meant to find me. You are everything they said was dangerous. But why do I feel safe when you're near? I thought I could handle anything, but you are more than I ever imagined, more than I can let go. She said, you're too much for my quiet heart, but you're the loudest thing I've ever needed. There's nothing too much about the way you make my heart feel like it's finally home. She said you were a challenge, and now I'm questioning if my heart can keep up with you. Every word my mom spoke about you lingers in my mind, but I already know she was wrong. You're too fierce for the fragile, yet my heart craves every ounce of your intensity. They warned me, but you're the one I've always needed, even if they don't understand. My dear, no one could prepare me for the depth of your love, but now it's all I see. She told me you were too complicated, but I'd unravel 1,000 mysteries just to understand you. They warned me about how you might change me, but I was already ready for a transformation. You make me feel like a contradiction, fragile yet invincible under the weight of your love. My mom says you're too complicated, but I love the puzzle of your soul. You came into my life like a force of nature, and now everything else feels small. She says you're too much, but I find the strength to handle every ounce of you. You're exactly the kind of chaos my heart needed to heal from the stillness of my past. My mom says you're a risk, but how can love be a risk when it feels like home? You are everything I was warned against, but my heart knew the truth all along. I was told to be careful, but I'm already lost in your love and can't find my way out. She warned me, but you're the one who makes the world feel alive again. My dear, you're not too much. You're exactly what I needed to feel whole. They told me you were too strong for me, but strength is what I need to stand tall. You're the kind of love that breaks me open, but I welcome every crack in my heart. She said you were too wild for me, but every part of me dances in your storm. I was told you'd overwhelm me, but here I am, ready to be consumed by you. You're the kind of love they warn you about, but how can I run when I'm already falling? My dear, they don't understand that with you, I've found my purpose in the chaos. You came into my life, and suddenly, all the ordinary things feel so small. They warned me you might change me, but I already feel like I've become who I was meant to be. I never knew love could be this dangerous, yet somehow it's the safest thing I have ever known. My mom says you're too intense, but I crave every drop of your intensity in my veins. You're everything I was warned about, but somehow my heart keeps reaching for you. They told me you were too complicated, but I love the way you challenge my heart. You're not too much. You're the only love that makes me feel alive. She says you're too strong, but how could I not want to be consumed by your strength?